Hello, hello. I know. The joys of being at home. So I decided let me steal the time of the Senzo Meiwa, that slot, the live slot. Yeah, I thought if so many people are able to watch the live, surely they will be able to also watch the clan. All right. I know everybody's at work right now. I get it. Others are at school, others are running errands, others are just doing whatever it is that you guys do on your daily life. So with me, I am what do you call that thing after funerals? That break. Yeah, that's the break actually having. So, hey, life has life. Life has life, you guys. You have no idea. We come in front of you guys looking all perfect as if we are these robots with nothing going on in the background. A lot goes on. A lot goes on. I thought I wasn't going to share this, but, anyways, I feel like I know you guys. You know me. We friends. We love each other, and so I feel comfortable to share some of the things that have been happening in my life. Guys, I know some of you are going to judge me. I know some of y'all are going to judge me, but it's okay. We all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different families, we come from different customs, traditions, and practices, religion, etc., and so on. I acknowledge all of that. And I acknowledge those that are going to say, yeah, but you were wrong, or you are wrong, or you shouldn't do something like that because of one, two, three, da, 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 da. Okay, cool. Now, I think I have shared this before. I've shared this before that most of my female relatives, that's starting from my sister, the one that I'm born with from the same woman, going to my aunts and uncles' girl children, right? Including also my cousins as well, who are female. Uh, I'm very protective of them, all of them, because of the nonsense that goes on out there in the world. I mean, I've always said that my mom and me also being responsible or took responsibility because my mom, in a single parent household, the mother is always at work, even though she has other kids, especially the younger ones. They usually left it to the older ones, like myself and my older brother. My older brother, well, he couldn't give a rat's toe, so he was not raising nobody's child or children. So it was left to me because, anyways, I am nurturing. I'm cancer. If you know anything about cancers, so it was very easy and natural for me to have taken over my two sisters, bringing them up as even though I myself I was a kid. So I'm very protective of them. And I'm also very protective of all my female relatives, especially if they are close family. And then after that, I then care a lot about other people that are in my life and have girl children. I always find myself inserting myself in their upbringing and also how I like to twitch the way of thinking. I make them focus a lot on education. And fortunately, that has worked perfectly because I would say, my nieces, which I would say they're the first generation of nieces that I've had, they're now at university, doing very well. And some are now close to graduation. They got work experiences. They got no time to not that they are not allowed to date. They are allowed to date, and there was a specific age they were told they are allowed to date. And their cell phones, all of their cell phones, everything about their cell phones was connected to my cell phone. That is the social media platforms, the people that they are talking to. When they get a phone call, yeah, you can do those things. I dictated all of those things so that I weeded off any energy or force that seemed to want to corrupt my nieces. That I would not. So their phones were specifically for emergencies. They were not allowed to take their phones to school, and any emergency that happens at school, the schools they go to, right there in the classroom, just like how in my schools used to be, right there in the classroom, there is a phone, like a landline. That landline connects to the front office. The front office, therefore, if anything happens, then they're able to call the parents. All right. That infrastructure, I made sure that every school they went to, they had that infrastructure. So much so that it does not give them an excuse to have a cell phone going to school. So if they say their mom or their dad came late to pick them up, there's a phone in the classroom. They go to the class teacher and say, hey, my mom or my dad, or sometimes myself, I'm late to pick them up. Please call. Then, of course, they call our cell phones, right? It's not them who whip out their cell phone, and they get to use their cell phones specifically for research purposes and when we communicate with them during the holidays as well as the weekend. Now, what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that unfortunately, there will be those cousins that will not hear you. You say, listen, they dated somebody, or somebody has an interest in marrying them, and I always insert myself in the front. In my family, it's known ukuthi neke umkhongi omkhulu, me, unmarried as I am. This is the part where you start judging, because umkhongi is supposed to be a married person in my culture, but I can explain, and I think they're beginning to see why I insert myself as the chief negotiator. That's because amongst my own cousins, we are of the same age. Some of them are a little bit younger, some might be a little bit older. I always preached that because you are a woman in South Africa, a grave is already dug for you. Now, to avoid this grave and live a full life, there are some things that we need to talk about. The type of men you are going to date, the type of men you are going to marry, the type of men you want to have children with, the type of men you are going to grow old with, the type of man that is not going to be on your bedside on your last day on earth. Those are the things I always talk, and I always manipulate these situations to talk about it so that it also triggers something in the head. So, unfortunately, let me start here. I had two cousins who they had their boyfriends came, wrote the letter thing, and I took the letters, read them, and usually what I would do, I would start doing my investigations on this guy. All of these men that marry into or marry my cousin sisters, I do, yes, a background check. I want to check who they are, why did they break up with their last person and the first person they've been with. I do the whole works, and then it's what will determine how do we deal with this situation at hand now that I'm holding a letter that is making intentions on taking my sister to be or to go to another family as a wife. So in most cases, this is what I've told them all. As long as I am umkongi, when we receive imali zamalobolo, you know that how do you I would call it a key and lock, because many women they get locked up with this key yellow ball when the man acts, and then the woman, because she's a woman and a Zulu woman for that matter. I know it also happens in other tribes. I'm not going to speak for other people. I'll speak for what I know. And if others want to contribute their own mentality, fine. I don't have an issue with that. And now the thing is, I always said, I am never ever going to ask for any more than 8,000 rand. What? 8,000 rand? Hey. No, 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 no. Pella, you must remember, this is not us selling off our kid. Ingane is not for sale. And I understand that back in the day, it used to be income. And then the thing is, the culture is not followed like how it used to. Because there are several things that also take place. Now, because people don't have kraals, they don't have land where they can graze these cows, it's now being converted into money. And some families, they ask for exuberant amount of monies, and others, they do whatever it is, and I'm not judging them. That's totally up to them and their choices that they make about their girl child. Now with me, I always said 8,000 rand, so that the moment he puts a hand on you, we are able. And then 8,000, all of my cousin sisters who are married today, each one of their 8,000s are still in my account. The moment I hear stories, I go and I withdraw it. And I do have copies of divorce papers as well. I don't know how legal or illegal that is, but they're just parked there. Because the moment I hear something is going, I see my cousin sister during family gatherings is behaving in a manner that I know this is not how they behave. I dig. I look for signs. I even come close with my glasses, look for signs that a blue eye was healing or has healed or whatever the case might be. That's what I do. So that I go into this bank account that I have this money stacked up, withdraw it, take the divorce papers and put in Vubu. And I'll just throw it like, because I know the moment a woman who's married starts saying something, they always remind you to batalema lobol. Ngimlobolile lo muntu. So we're making it easy. So that, because if you are going to lobola my sister or my cousin sister with hundreds of thousands, we don't have those hundreds of thousands of rands. And that is what they bank on as well. But then again, Oksala, they don't have the hundreds of thousands. I will still do as I please. 8,000 rand is nothing. You just take it, throw it at them. Sakaze kancane ngemvubu, uthi signa la. So it just so happened that this life thing that is happening, this one was a well kept secret, I must say, even though I had my suspicions. But my suspicions were sometimes women, they're quite good at hiding things. And I think that is why the word woman in Zulu, ufaazi, umfazi, ufaazi. I think that's where I think it comes from. That they can hide things up until the something happens, like what had happened with somebody I never even thought in my wildest dreams that would find themselves in the situation they find themselves. But you already think you know what I'm saying about it. Actually, it's the opposite. There is a say that my mom used to say. In fact, this say is an English say anyway, but she used to say it in Zulu. But I will say it in English because it's kind of like difficult to say it in Zulu for anybody to understand. Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. And my mom used to say that say comes from the fact that the reason why women restrain themselves from retaliating is because of the capability of bringing life and also taking it as well. That's what I was always taught. Like, there's a point or a breaking point for a woman. And when that breaking point happens, she would she will go blank. Just right now, like my cousin sister, to this happened when about almost 5 weeks ago. To this day, she's confused, like, what happened? That's because she blacked out, and Mother Nature, as I believe, came and took over her body, her everything, and resolved. the issue. It's just unfortunate because there are kids that are involved, and these kids, they lived a very happy life with both parents, and she doesn't know. So of course, she is free on bail, and it also looks like, as the investigations are going on, that the MPA does not have prospects of winning the case. Why? Because even though my cousin sisters and I would talk about these things, she kept records, and her records are not of her own. That like she kept them herself. She had a doctor every time she had a blue eye or she had this. She would go there. She'll go there, and of course, in a case of domestic situation, when you go to the doctor, I think according to the law, they must take pictures of the injuries and all of that stuff. Okay, so that's the record she kept. And now the investigating officer is coming across evidence that this woman defended herself. Oh, she's been going through this for years, and it got to a breaking point because the law does recognize, um, it recognizes mental situation when you black out of rage. The law recognizes that sometimes it's not intention, and it was not even intentional from the witness, the person that watched everything transpire. She says she also just saw things happening because she was defending herself. She was actually packing up her things and coming back home. And then alert me that, hey, Boot, this is what has been happening. And then I still have his 8,000 Rand in the account. And I would have taken it, driven all the way to Mpangeni and threw it on his lap and said, sign. I, but she doesn't know what happened. But all she knows is he looked different this time around. He looked deadly. And the reason why he was looking deadly, the story is my aunt was a bit ill. I mean, I did go see her like in September now. I did see her in July. This is her mother. She was ill, and so because she has kids and they're at school and all of that stuff, so she could not necessarily just up and leave and drive 4 hours to see her. So she said, I'm gonna come when it's school holidays. Maybe I might even come with the kids and take care of the mom and then go back. So she went home, but when she go home, I knew that my aunt was healed. She's fine. She's back to herself. It was just a situation of her high blood being irregular. So now they got it all under control and everything. So when she went back home, she found that her mother was good. I mean, she even said, "No, I'm fine. You can go back home." So without telling her husband that she's now turning around, she gets home, and guess what? The obvious. On her marriage bed, he has one of the neighbors. Now that's the neighbor who is a witness that saw everything in her nakedness. Saying, he's because my sister, apparently they had a conversation with the husband and said, listen, I know men cheat. I know that. There's nothing I can do about it. But I must never catch you doing it. Because if I did, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to pack my things and go back home. That's what I'm going to do. And from there, I am going to institute divorce proceedings because I am not going to be this woman who's going to be made a fool of. Already, when you're out there, I don't know how much of a fool you make of me But now when you're doing in my presence, clearly you don't see me, you don't respect me, you don't see the marriage, you don't respect the marriage and the kids and the family, etc., and so on. So what's the point of sticking around? So when she walked in, they were busy doing their thing. In fact, they were just sitting apparently on the bed in their birthday suits. When she opened the bedroom door, there they were. She said nothing, she says. I said nothing. I went straight to the wardrobe, took out the suitcase, and started packing my things. That's when he got out of bed, tried to stop her, and she still did not say anything. She was packing her things because she's not a person that talks a lot. So that is why I think these things were kind of like slipping me. I did not see them, the signs. That's when he started basically doing what apparently he always did. And this time around, he looked deadly, she says. That she knew that if she did not defend herself, that lady will replace her. And probably both of them will bury her somewhere and nobody will ever know what happened to her. She said all she remembers is taking her right arm, twisted around his neck. She felt some cracks under the palm of her hand. Next thing, when she comes to, he was on the floor, not moving. That's like, yeah, this is what my mom used to talk about. This is exactly what she talked about. I mean, there are no defensive wounds. The autopsy shows that there's no defensive wounds. There's nothing that shows that this was intentional. And her statement, everything about what they are finding out correlates. And now, with the new evidence of where you're having pictures coming out that this, every time when he did this to her, she went to the doctor. The doctor would take pictures. And then these files are, from what I've seen, there are at least almost 50 of them. So now I'm hearing that the MPA is like, we don't think we have prospects of winning. This was self-defense. So chances are she might actually not be held accountable. Because I thought, at most, if this is proven beyond a reasonable doubt that it was self-defense, she's going to be charged with culpable homicide, which I think is a suspended sentence. She will still be able to live her life, but that sentence will still be hanging all over her head for probably the rest of her life. Her life, I don't know. But from what I'm hearing, it might not even be that. I don't know because we did everything that we could to get the best of the best lawyers. Like, hey, me, I was like, what? Especially that I did not know this. I was livid. And I made sure that I got the best of everything for her. And that this is exactly what they are doing. So there's a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but my suspicion is she might get slapped with a culpable homicide because she's not denying anything. Even when she appeared, she was asked to plead guilty or not guilty. She was told not to say not guilty because she's not guilty, so that we go to trial, and then it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she did not plan this. She didn't meditate it. Didn't meditate it. Premeditation. Yeah, she did not premeditate the action that she took. Now, here is the other stuff that is also going on top of that. Of course, he comes from a family. He has a mom. He has brothers and sisters, and you know how sometimes these siblings do things. They will blame the wife. They will say things. Obviously, they are blaming her and all that stuff, despite them already knowing because a Zulu woman or a Zulu wife, and I'm sure other tribes as well do the same thing. They consult if their son is doing something, they go and consult their mother-in-law. Like, listen, my house is not happy because your son is doing one, two, three. They don't consult with their biological family. Because remember, of the lobola, you're now no longer part of your biological family. You are now a family of these people. So the only person, no, it's sub judice when somebody, I'm not, what do you call this? I'm not affected. That's why I'm able to talk about it. She's not allowed to talk about it. That's sub judice. So, and on top of that, I'm not talking the merits of everything, but I'm just letting you know what I am also hearing. But yeah, I'm outside of that process. I can talk about it to a family member. I'm not even going to be a witness either for me, for this to be sub judice. As far as I understand sub judice principle. Anyways, so she's talking to the family. They're just blaming her, and so uh, she's giving them everything. She's not gonna fight because you know what they do, right? Whether there's a good relationship or bad relationship between the in-laws, the day the husband dies, if your mother-in-law is good to you, wait until her son dies first. Then you will see. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but very few are not like that. Majority of them are like that. They'll be very nice to Makoti. They will love you now. Your all your in-laws will respect. Let their child die. They will blame you. Let's say you even had a car accident because of Mtagatil. If they don't say Mtagatil, they'll say you did something to Utengabantu, all that nonsense that you would hear. All because they want the assets. They want the house, they want the cars, they want the policies, they want everything. Despite having children, I have witnessed this so many times. So she's kind of like going through the same thing, but she said, listen, I'm not going to fight y'all. Take it all. Like everything if you want to. But then, of course, they are hitting a hurdle here called the law. You see, Umangoba will always be the law. So they are trying this, but the law is blocking them, and they are trying that, and the law is blocking them. And she says she's not going to sign. I mean, they're the ones who decided. So the most of these things, in fact, all of these things need her signature. And she's saying, I'm signing nothing because y'all decided to treat me as like an animal, and yet you know the animal who it was. So now some are holding meetings to say, hey, we need to apologize to her. And I'm like, sis, I mean, I've helped a couple of women who have been in the same situation, not like it's the same situation, but where the husband died, maybe of a car accident, the family came and kicked her out of the house. Imagine the moment the husband was buried, when they went back, when she went back home, the bedroom was already occupied by Umalume, either the older brother, the middle brother, or the younger brother, who always, by the way, is a fail pop. I don't know why fail pops think, but there's a belly there. I'm a fabantu, like, when are you going to die? So that I come and take. So that is why a will is very important. And interestingly, a will was discovered. That is why they are having tough times to penetrate into the assets, the house. I mean, the title deed is clear. The house is not to be sold. The house belongs to the children and the children that are not even born yet. And secondly, nobody inherits it. It belongs to the children and children's children, etc., and so on. And people are named. How many percentage they're gonna get from things? And guess what? Nobody is mentioned from the mother, brothers, and sisters, and everyone else. Nobody, their names are not there. Same thing with the policies. The beneficiaries is not them. It's the kids and the wife. And so once the wife is not found guilty, she benefits. In fact, she takes her 50%, and then the other 50% is shared amongst the three kids. So that's what I've been going through, y'all. So that's what I've been going through. Lots of phone calls back and forth, going, coming, and all of that stuff. Unfortunately, for the friend, not that, it's not unfortunate because they tried to, I would say, kidnap the the body, but the law says she's she's the wife. She's innocent until proven guilty. So the right goes to her to bury her husband. And that drove them up the wall as well. Like, what? What? So they're just not winning. And not that I am celebrating that. I'm livid, like I said. I'm very, very upset that they are not understanding the type of a child they raised. That is why I feel it's also important as parents when you have boy kids, just just tell them don't do this. Just don't do it. Don't do it. You know, no woman, even themselves when they become parents someday and their child is a girl, you did not give birth to a punching bag. No woman is a punching bag. If you're not going to punch her and do those things which you shouldn't do, no woman deserves to be mentally messed up by any man, because some guys are very good at messing this up, reducing a human being absolutely to nothing. Even when she even looks at herself in the mirror, she doesn't see herself but what you've put in her head. That's evil of note. It's evil. It's evil. You cannot be that guy. If you are a member of the clan and this is what you do, you are evil. Stop it. Just stop it. If you disagree with your woman, nothing beats sitting down and talking about it. You just talk about it. If you are angry and you feel that, "Ugh," you know what? There's fresh air outside. You can literally go take a walk, you can jog, you can take a drive if you have a car. Trust me when I tell you, when you come back, you feel much better. You think clearly, and you are able now to resolve the issue without you folding your fists. It's not going to solve anything. It is not going to solve anything. It only makes you a monster. That's all you are. So you just become a monster. And if you are a mother of a baby boy, I know mothers love their baby boys. The moment umakoti akutshela about your son, don't take his side, especially when you know your son. Don't take his side. You're just as evil as he is. I mean, some of these women, they're deacons in churches, but you are mistreating umakoti simply because maybe umthandi or whatever. Stop it. Just stop it. That's all I'm asking. Because I'm telling you, there are a lot of me out there as well. A lot of me. And you don't want to deal with me. Trust me, when I tell you, you don't. Oh, I'm not the nicest person when it comes the time. I'm a very good guy. But when you cross my path in a way, you've asked for it. You actually asked for it. I know I like saying this. But it's true. It's the nature. I'm Cancer. If you dated a Cancer or you have a Cancer in your house, you know that we are here. But when push comes to shove, we're destructive. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm quite destructive, but not in a way that breaks the law. I will never break the law ever, but I will crumble your life. That's just how I do things. So that is why I'm very protective of my girl kids, girl cousins, females in my family. That one I take it upon me. The moment I hear, I leave everything I'm doing and I go there to resolve it. Sometimes they would hide things like my cousin did. Like, if Chemkanta, unalili khanda. So some hide these things. Some they tell me that, hey, Yasu Spanbani is, I leave everything, everything, drop it. If I was at work, I book that very moment. Tell my boss, I'll see you when I see you to go and resolve. So that is what has been going on, guys. And I missed y'all. I missed you guys a lot, and I don't like this break. I think maybe as well the break was good for the North Gauteng High Court. I think it was good because I don't think no. In fact, I still would have dropped everything. I still would have dropped everything. So yeah, that is my little story time of why I've been absent in your lives. And please let me know how you guys been doing. How are things? I hope you are happy. You are free from harm, hurt. Please tell me. I'm very interested in that. Let me read your comments. Growth through grace says, "Hi, Mr. Klein, you are looking good. Thank you." Ooh, in KwaZulu Natal, when I meet people from Shamba, they'll be like, "Amen," and I'm like, "Amen," because I kind of like look Shamba, and some people will ask me where I worship and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, nowhere. But yeah, a lot of people like my new look for some reason because I wanted to cut it, and my aunt was like, "You crazy? You look good." I'm like, "So I didn't look good all this time with a shaven head and well trimmed." And everybody started looking for things that are not there. I'm like, "Ooh, thanks." It's nice to know I was ugly. Dumile, what's up? Says my brother Clanny and the team already. Molo, how are you doing? BBM, what's up? I'm glad I caught this live. I missed you. I missed you. I missed you. Even though I was trying to keep myself busy with the other channel because that one is a little bit easy to distract myself with. It was quite easy for me to distract myself with that one. But yeah. Um, BBM coach used to say, "It's crazy how we make family outside blood family." Like, really, I can never. I can never. You have become a big brother. You know that position has to be assumed when, especially when the world outside is the way it is against women and children. You need to take a position. You seriously need to take a position, and sometimes that position has to be radical. Like, do not normalize ilobolo if ilobolo is going to be that yoke that holds down your loved one and you can't do anything about it because you don't have the money to pay back. You see what I mean? It must not be like that. Even the man himself, he must always have it in the back of his head. What's 8,000? So I can't do anything to this girl. But it's easy to pay 8,000. I mean, it's Like I said, it's capped. There's a whole separate bank account. Every time when they get lobola, I take it, I put it there. I know that lobola is supposed to be money that is used for the wedding. That's the whole purpose of a lobola. It's for the wedding. But these days, people are not using it for the wedding because still the bride and the groom still has to save up for the wedding day and all of those things. I know that that's the purpose of the especially the money aspect of it. So yeah, it's crazy. Joyki, hello, Joyki. Through grace, I concur. Thank you. Junior, what's up? Nice to you, Clancis. Thank you. Anthony, hello, Clancis. What's up, Anthony? Boniswa, hello. Man, are no chances that you see the spot. Okay. I'm sure I read that wrong. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's not written that this is an abusive person or this is a gentleman or whatever the case might be. I don't know. It's you just never know. Honor is it honor or honored? Isn't the matter sub judice? I've already explained that I'm not affected. I'm not even a witness, so I can talk about it. I can talk about it. She, however, can't talk about it. Busisiwa says, hi, Clancis. This story is so touching, but very true. Yeah, I think I've since calmed down. Like, since calm, like, I was, yo, if you saw me, Busisiwa, I was a mess, a total mess. But I still kept a straight face. You wouldn't know what's going on. You wouldn't know. Thank you for being there to defend your sister's cousin. Your cousin, cousin wami waba ne accident kwashona uhabi umama wahlukumeza eti usinde kanjani. Yeah, that's the thing. They always find something, and it has nothing to do with the son being dead, but it has the assets he left behind. It's the assets that are left behind. Clearly, the mother, not a good person. Unenhliziyo embi. Irrespective of how anybody sees it, you cannot ask such a question. A car accident with people in it, some will and some will not. Yeah, and I was supposed to say, "Hey, sibonga uNkulunkulu ukuthi wasinda." Hayi ukuthi wena usale kanjani. What kind of nonsense is that? Just evilness. Busisiwe continues to say, by kuye, huh? Kuningo Ologe released on warning Kininda Revelations Kushubile. I think I did that video. I did that video in the midst. I remember when I did that video, I was sitting in one of the houses, and because it was a voiceover, I don't know if you remember, it was a voiceover. And I was like, okay, let me distract myself because it was late at night as well. So I wanted to calm down and I wanted something to distract me. And that's when that idea came because I looked at my phone and I saw a message from Google News. I was like, oh, there's something that's going to distract me. And I did that longer release video. Yeah, there's kuningi that is happening, and I cannot wait for the 7th of October. Hopefully, we're gonna wrap this up by the end of this new semester. Do you think so? I don't think so. I'm just hoping that we do so that we can move on to other things that are taking place in the country. Um, I see that a lot that we talked about as well in my rants. Remember my rants before elections and my rants after the elections? Seemingly, there are things that are starting to happen. There are things that are starting to happen, and I am happy that those things are happening. because at the end of the day, our our livelihoods, meaning as South Africans, need to come first. We don't have a problem whoever is here, but don't come here and take away what is ours in such a manner and disrespect, inconsideration, and all that stuff. But it is what it is. I think I've vented enough on that one. I'm good. I'm pretty good about it. So yeah. So what have you guys been up to? Lalita, good day. How are you doing? How are you doing? Tell me, what have you guys been up to? I'm interested to hear as well. We left with like 15 minutes to go before I end the live because I don't want it to be over an hour long. Or maybe this is it. Probably. Maybe we'll have another one tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out as well the membership, how to go live. I think after here, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. Leave a live video for everyone to check out because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. But yeah, guys, I think we've seen each other. I managed to share where I've been. Oh yeah, I did get your messages, guys, or discussions about me. No, I have not lost interest. I have not lost interest at all. I'm still here with you guys. I was just going through a lot. I'm still going through it, and nothing has until my cousin sister is a free person. Then I will say, yeah, I'm fine. Right now, there's back and forth virtual meetings between the lawyers, her, and everybody until a court date is set down, and then we hear uh, whether there's going to be a trial or this matter is going to be dropped, but the charges will be reduced to culpable homicide. I don't know, but that's my suspicion. I think they will be reduced because right now it's murder. I mean, obviously, it will be murder, and then you have to prove that it wasn't for it to be reduced to culpable homicide. So right now, that's where we at. So I'm not free, but almost there. So when I disappear, sometimes just know that I'm sitting in a round table with a bunch of lawyers, and we are dealing with this situation at hand. But other than that, thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. I appreciate you all. You are awesome. Be blessed. Be good. Be good to the people you purport to love. If you're a mother in law, be kind to your daughter in law, especially. Just be kind to your daughter in law. She loves your son. All right? She loves your son. And probably she will always hide some things that he does from you. So just do better. That's all. It cannot be right that ungahlukumeza enye ingane yomuntu. It's not right. It ain't right. Anyways, let's see each other when we do. I thank you again. That's it, I suppose. I know I sprung upon you the way I did, but you know, that's how we roll. Much love, guys. Bye.